Okay. Let's fucking do it. Okay, so you want to enjoy running, but you consider yourself a non-runner. Here's what you need to do to start running well. Basically, the past has screwed you over into thinking you don't like running or running is just not for you. Maybe you've always had a lot of injuries. Maybe back in high school, your coach always pushed you to run that mile as fast as you could. It doesn't really matter, but up until this point, you've always associated running with sucking. And quite simply, it doesn't have to be that way. And with these couple tips, I'm going to show you how to simplify running and to make it actually enjoyable. So like I said before, high school screwed you over and it taught you that running has to be this painful measurement of fitness where you never run for months at a time and then all of a sudden you're forced to run as fast and as hard as you can just to see how long you can last. What happens or what results is that you hate running. You're in an excruciating amount of pain. You suck at running because you have never done it and then all of a sudden you do it. You associate this extreme pain and this amount of suckness with just the ability for you to run. The first thing you want to do is lower your expectations when it comes to running. Just like any other sport, you shouldn't just assume you're going to be awesome right off the bat. Think of any other sport, badminton, golf. If you were to pick up one of these sports out of nowhere, you wouldn't just assume you're going to start, hitting the ball 300 yards on a golf course. You're going to know that your swing is going to suck and you're going to need to, go to the driving range and practice a lot. The same thing comes to running. This is where most people screw up. They don't think they need to practice. They think it's just something they inherently know, but this is not the case. Because of years and years of walking on your shoes, you've actually kind of screwed yourself over for running form and you've lost the art of running that you once had as a child. Just look at children now. If you see them running, they run quick feet, they're not in pain, they can run barefoot on pavement or grass. It's all good because their form's, are pretty spot on. You once could do that too, it's just you've lost it. Lower your expectations and just take a step back and recognize that you need to work on form, and once you improve your form, running will be less painful. If you're one of the people that think they get a lot of reoccurring injuries and that's why running isn't for you, once again I want to take a step back and re-say my point. Are you running wrong, and is that the reason why you're getting a lot of pain? Because if you're slapping your feet really hard on the ground, running with a really long stride, very slow stride, this is going to put a lot of impact on your feet, on your ankles, on your shins, on your knees, and all of these things are going to add up, and maybe this is why you've had a lot of pain. There are 3 things you want to think about when it comes to form. I don't want to overcomplicate it with the exact angles that your body should be in and all that stuff. Just 3 things. I got it from the book Born to Run, and I think it's just great advice for anyone that's new. What you want to do is land light, push easy, and have quick feet. So what this means is when you're running, you want to be landing light enough that you don't hear the loud banging noises on your feet. You want to try to really minimize the amount that you're hammering your feet down. This is something that you would naturally do if you were barefoot, but now that we have these big cushioned shoes, we actually push our feet even harder down on the ground. So really think about landing light, just quiet feet. The second thing I want you to think about is pushing easy. So what that means is a lot of people want to really push their strides out forward, which is something you don't want to be doing. What you really want to be doing is spinning your legs almost underneath you like the road runner. Think about pushing easy, and that'll help you out. Now the third and most important thing is you want to land at 180 beats per minute. This is optimal. That's going to seem like pretty quick feet. You don't have to get to 180 beats per minute right away, but chances are you're going to be much lower than that. So just start working on picking up your speed just a little bit. I personally listen to a soundtrack that only has songs that play at 180 beats per minute, and that really helps remind me that I'm going to land my feet at that time. So if you combine landing your feet quickly, easy, and lightly, you're going to have a much more enjoyable time while you're running. In the past, I'm sure what you've done is you had the motivation to start running and you just started going for it. You ran Monday for 2 kilometers, the next day you ran 3 kilometers, the next day you ran 4, and you kept pushing it further and further and further. And what happened was you eventually just got hurt. It's pretty self-explanatory why this happens, but it's hard for us to avoid this because we have such inspiration and motivation. We just want to keep getting out there and keep increasing the miles. But what you need to do when you first start running is actually stay at a consistent distance and really hammer in that distance until your body becomes adapted to it. I would suggest hanging on the side of caution and just hanging at that same distance for 2 weeks at a time and then increase it from there. Once you get yourself up to, 3 or 4 kilometers consistently, then you can start worrying about getting into, other workout plans that progress you further. And the reason for this is because your lungs will actually improve faster than your muscles will. So as you start running, you'll notice that you're able to go further and further without getting out of breath. The problem is your muscles take much longer to improve, and your muscles need to improve so you avoid injuries. And what happens is, as you keep increasing it, you're basically not going to feel anything, maybe a little muscle tiredness or something like that, and then all of a sudden, bam, you have an injury just like that, and then you're off for 2 months, no running, and there goes your motivation, and then once again you think, oh, I'm just not a runner, I always get hurt. So yeah, the tips are pretty basic. Progress really slowly so your muscles have a lot of time to get stronger and recover, and remember the 3 things. Land light, push easy, and have quick feet. If you do those 3 things, I guarantee you'll have a much more enjoyable time running in the future. Alright, best of luck.